So one of the keys to alleviating suffering is learning how to stay in the moment. One of the problems is we don't really know what the moment is. I'm going to share with you a science sort of concept that can help clarify that, and then we'll talk briefly about what it means to stay in the moment and why it's so valuable. First, I'm going to read you a quote, though. I did not authenticate this. I assume that this is true, but if it's not true, I'll claim ownership of this quote. Okay? So I'm saying it if this guy didn't say it. Richard Conn Henry, a professor of physics and astronomy at Johns Hopkins University. I don't want to assume anything, but he's probably a pretty smart guy. Okay? When you are a professor of physics and astronomy at Johns Hopkins, you're probably pretty smart. Fair enough? He said, quote, "Get over it and accept the inarguable conclusion. This universe is immaterial. It is mental and spiritual." Excellent, right? Pretty smart guy, emphasizing we have to stop thinking of this world as material. It's a mental universe, it's a spiritual universe. And so I've drawn this, okay, very simply. And the way to think about being in the now, there's this Bible line, 2 Peter 3:8, in which Peter says, "Always remember this, with the Lord, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day." Okay? That's a time question. What does that mean? All we have to do is make this one leap, scientific leap, of understanding extra dimensions. And it's not that hard when we think of dreaming. Every night when you go to bed and you have a dream, you're in a lower conscious state. And does a dream last longer or seem to take more time in the dream than in the sleep, the reality where you're laying in bed? Doesn't a dream sometimes feel like it goes on forever? But scientists have shown sometimes dreams last about 10 seconds. It feels like it was 3 days, though. Okay? In a lower conscious state, time takes a lot longer. Okay? What we're dealing with is a reality in which we're ultimately in a higher conscious state, the spiritual state. That's our home. And we're in a physical state that's actually a lower conscious state. It's a lower vibrational state. Time is different down here. It actually seems like it's a lot longer than it really is, just like a dream. Remember, the word Buddha means to wake up. Wake up to what? To the fact that we're in a reality that is immaterial, like the professor says. So there's a real realm. The ultimate reality is this wavy line. It's an infinite line. That which is spiritual is infinite. That which is flesh is temporary. Just like your dreams at night, they're temporary, they disappear, then you go back to waking life. The real reality, the higher reality, your spiritual reality, up there in this wavy line here, it's but a moment in which we descend into this physical world and have all these physical experiences likened unto a dream. That little dot that I drew here, right there, is what I'll call the moment. See, the moment you fall asleep and you start to dream, in the dream there's a moment connection to your waking life, right? You'll wake up and you'll be right where you were, unless you're a sleepwalker. That's a whole different thing. Fact is, when you die here, you wake up, and it's like just a few seconds ticked away. And with the Lord up here, 1,000 years is a day, and a day is 1,000 years. Time works different, way different. So what's staying in the moment? It's having the recognition that where you are right now, you're really in this place still. That's what keeps you connected. That's what keeps you directly in line with the source. You can call it God, you can call it Spirit. When you stay connected to that source, you get a different feeling. When we step out of the moment, and why do we do that? We do that because of all the stuff that's happening in the dream. The stuff that happened yesterday, the stuff that might happen tomorrow, and then we judge it. And we say it's important, or it's bad, or it's good, and all this stuff. And all of that takes us away from this little line here, which is what staying in the moment is. If we can maintain that awareness, this is what mindfulness is about. This is what breathing techniques are about. This is what the virtues are about. If you can stay focused on concepts like forgiveness and compassion and mercy, wisdom, all those things, that pulls you into the moment. And it's super easy to let go of the past and stop worrying about the future if you could stay present, moment aware. And so it's like a bat phone to God. This line right here directly fuels us. And you stay in alignment with that. When you stay in alignment with it, you get filled with the Spirit. Matthew 5:37, all you do is say yes or no, any more comes from evil. All you do is stay in alignment with this or not. As soon as you step out of alignment with this, it goes haywire. Now we're living in the past or we're living in the future, and then we have stress and anxiety and depression and all of that. We start judging our lives. We start judging other people's lives. We suffer as a result of that one concept. We just stepped out of the moment. But when you stay in the moment, this different feeling comes over you. This feeling gives you clarity. It actually brings to you the virtues. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you will find is this. This will come to you and then it'll clear up your head. In Buddhism it's called bodhi, the clear-minded state. Staying present moment aware through things like meditation and mindfulness brings you clarity, and now you can see everything as it is. Oh, I get it. We're all in a dream right now. We're all spiritual beings having a physical experience. It's immaterial, like the professor says. It's a mental spiritual universe. That's also what Hermes said thousands of years ago. It's a mental spiritual universe. John 6:63, Jesus says the flesh counts for nothing. It's the spirit that gives life. Good luck feeding off the ego of the physical world. Where's that going to take us? Nowhere. So our job is to stay in that moment. Our job collectively is to help each other stay in the moment. Many different ways to do that. But when I step outside the moment, I'll create an energy pattern that's going to probably affect you unless you're in the moment. If I step outside the moment, you're outside the moment, we're both going to affect each other in a negative way. What would happen if we had a bunch of beings staying in the moment, staying with truth, staying with present moment awareness? We would resonate so much more strongly with each other. We would feel this connection. When two or more are gathered in my name, I am there with them, says Jesus, right? The fact is, that's exactly what that is. When we're working on this together, there's resonance, and now we can feel the Lord present with us right now. Again, this is all the prophets, many different ways, many different teachings. We got to get our mind off of the flesh, focused on the spirit by staying present moment aware.